women not wanting good men. So very pay attention. I got the quotation marks because this is a, you know, this isn't necessarily true, but it's promoted. You know, people saying this. You know, this is maybe some truths for some people, but I don't think this is the truth for all women. Um, but I do want to speak on this opinion, if I had to say, because it's popular. The algorithm, and this is what the algorithm and social media is always wants to promote all the time. Like this concept of women not wanting good men and stuff like that. Um, for one, um, I just wanted to speak on the concept of wanting. Like people always say, well, oh, somebody doesn't want you, this, that, and the third. It's like I know if I had to say generally in the context most people are speaking of, they're just speaking in terms of, oh, having sex with. But you can want somebody for different things, but generally that's what you know people are generally meaning. You know what I'm saying? If I had to say, but for one, or other thing I'm gonna say, yeah, like most people's perspective, if you had to say, or you know, they perspective on what a good man or a bad man is comes from their upbringing, not what they saw as a child, in their upbringing, their household, whatever people that they were around. That's gonna be people's examples, um, and what they saw consistently. Whether a man or a woman, what they saw. If a girl, if a woman consistently, her upbringing saw that her mother was getting beat by their father, then that's gonna be to her. She probably, because that's what was accepted in her household and what she knows and things of that nature. When she grows up, even if she may, see maybe was a celebrity or some friend of hers or something like that, they might have, a different example. Like, they're showing that they're loving and there's no physical abuse or something like that. She, because of her subconscious, she's still not going to really be quote unquote attracted to a guy who's like that. Naturally, she's gonna be more attracted to an abusive guy, even if she knows that the abusive guy isn't necessarily good for her, but that's what she's used to, and that's what she saw growing up with her upbringing. So she subconsciously is attracted to that, or she finds herself in situations with him rather than a guy who's not like that. You know, because she likely hasn't addressed certain quote unquote childhood traumas and stuff like that. That would, you know, make it to where she wouldn't want to mess with that type of example. You know what I'm saying? That might, she may be too programmed to that example to ever want to divert from it, or because she knows how to deal with it. Some women, when they get a quote unquote guy who may be loving and caring and all these type of things, that you would think ideally like, oh, she should want this guy, and he does this for her and this, that, and the third. He doesn't cheat, doesn't lie, all this other stuff. she may not, because like I said, she's so used to um, dealing with abusive men. That's the exact example she saw, and even just romantic, intimate relationships. However, that's what she was dealing with. She wouldn't really know how to deal with this guy who's quote unquote the good guy. He's not like that. He's not abusive. He's caring. He's loving and stuff like that. Because he's somewhat of an outlier, or just kind of quote unquote, as they will say, different. She wouldn't know how to deal with it. She doesn't have any experience with that. So a lot of times they end up sabotaging that type of relationship on their own, whether they do it intentionally or unintentionally. They end up sabotaging that type of relationship, and ending up back in their cycle of abuse, um, of abusive relationships. This doesn't get, how I just explained, doesn't get explained. They just say, "Oh well, women just don't want good men," like with no real context of that. But that's usually the case. Now, for female, grew up with upbringing examples of guys who were loving, caring, weren't abusive, things of that nature. When she goes out, she wants to go date and consider marriage and stuff like that. That's gonna be the example she's gonna like, because that's what she knows how to deal with that. She's used to that. She's used to that type of treatment. And if a guy who's abusive and stuff of that nature, she'll not be attracted. She will not want that, because that's not what she was used to. You know what I'm saying? So it goes both ways. Um, a lot of it is rooted in just the example that you have. You know what I'm saying? Growing up, usually the father, whether it's father, brothers, uncles, etc. You know, boyfriends of your mother or something like that. It's that's usually how what it's rooted in. You know what I'm saying? Um, but you gotta understand, like, these a lot of times these women who get trapped in these cycles, they do understand that they have some issues a lot of times, and that they know that the type of, it's not good, but like I said, they just choose not to address certain traumas. So they stuck in the cycle. They stay stuck in that type of cycle, even though they know it's not quote unquote good for them. And this is where the whole concept of don't be captain, save, and all that, because like, you're actually a good guy, and you can provide value and etc. You can help improve this girl's life. I mean, if you're gonna decide to keep messing with her, she's gonna essentially mess your life up. She's gonna, downplay, degrade your life. And a lot of times, like I said, they tend to sabotage these type of relationships, and she's gonna, in a lot of ways, try to make you feel like her. Um, she's gonna try to bring you down to her level and how she feels, and a lot of it's rooted in insecurity, but that's what she's gonna do, so she can feel comfortable. And like I said, I've experienced it. I know people who have experienced what I'm exactly saying. So that's really what it be. And then on top of that, obviously social media is promoting this narrative and stuff like that, where it's just like women just don't want good men. They don't want to have relationships with good men. Good guys who do good by women are just bad guys, and the guys who do the wrong things are the good guys, and with no real explanation for anything. That's just the narrative that's just promoted with no context at all. So again, like I said, it just a lot of it is just rooted in upbringing. This is stuff I had to learn, Because a lot of times, when I was young, I didn't understand. It's like, how can you clearly see what's right, or a guy who's clearly, showing he's interested, he's doing the right things, he's showing up for you, and you not really, want to deal with this guy. You don't want to, build nothing with him. Like, what? That's dumb. Till I had to, I learned like, oh, okay, a lot of this is rooted in, childhood trauma and upbringing and the examples you saw and things of that nature. Because some of these women, they'll see you doing, opening up car doors and giving them flowers and paying for this and doing this, that, and then they think you're weird. They think you're like an odd guy. Like, they think that you come from Mars, you come from Pluto, like you not from this Earth. Trust me, I've experienced it, firsthand. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of other guys who, know exactly what I'm talking about. So that's just how it is for some women. Not all of them, but some women, that's the case. And a lot of women, they'll tell you exactly. They know exactly what I'm talking about. So that's just how it is. You got to get to, and one of the main things that people always feel to, and I had to again learn over time, is getting to know people. And most people, they get in, trying to get in relationships, whatever, with people, is just, about trying to hook up and not really trying to get to know the person that you're trying to hook up with or whatever, and you find this stuff out way after the fact, after y'all done had a couple kids and things of that nature. It's like, you don't really try to get to know her at all. You know what I'm saying? Or know him, and vice versa. And everything I've said applies in vice versa when it comes to men and the men that they choose to, have relationships and stuff like that. It's rooted in a lot of ways in your upbringing, things of that nature. Um, and again, like I said, it's the challenging thing that comes with most people is the what most people call, the internal work or focusing on yourself and blah 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 blah. It's really just addressing certain childhood traumas and reprogramming yourself and understanding like, oh wow, this was actually wrong. I shouldn't like this, doing this isn't, I shouldn't be doing this. Like, just because I seen my uncle or my brother or my father, dad, or my mother like do certain things, that don't mean I should just do it. You know what I'm saying? That comes with the, the what most people call healing and all that, reprogramming. Just like learning and understand like certain things. If you want to, what I'm saying? If you want to do what you want to do, you know what I mean? Do you. I really don't care. But, it just comes with, just seeing and understanding certain things like, oh, I shouldn't be beating women. I shouldn't be, verbally uh, abusing a man. You know what I'm saying? I shouldn't try to degrade a man. You know what I'm saying? I shouldn't, you know, do things to make my woman feel bad. Like, you know, just because that was the example I saw, that doesn't necessarily mean I should do that. You know what I'm saying? And again, that comes with some reflecting, some reprogramming, So, yeah.